President Trump is trying to reverse 4 disastrous years of Bidenomics. Remember that? And the first thing he's doing is putting America first.
This country has been ripped off from every nation in the world, every company outside in the world. We've been ripped off at levels never seen before. And all we're going to do is get it back. We're going to get a lot of it back. We're not going to let people take advantage of us anymore. What I have to do is build a strong country. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future, tremendous foundation.
Critics say President Trump's tariff threats will drive up inflation. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says there's nothing to worry about.
The economic program is a whole-of-government, holistic program, and I think that if we could get a one-time price adjustment across the continuum, I'm not worried about inflation.
All right, then, let's get into it. Joe, are you tariff man like President Trump seems to be? How do you feel about it?
I feel that tariffs are great as a negotiation ploy, Steve. But then I want to see what the end game is. In other words, when we tariff Canada, right, and we say fentanyl's got to stop coming into this country, then I look at Mexico and I say, well, it's coming in from there at 100 times the pace. At what point, what's the end game? That's what I want to know. I understand what the president is doing as far as a negotiation ploy, and it's worked. Colombia, for example, he wanted Colombia to take back some illegal immigrants that were here that were criminals, and it worked. They folded immediately. The question is, how long can he use it as a negotiation ploy, and how much does it affect the stock market at this point?
Another thing, Molly, I've heard people make the argument that as well as the tactical leverage in terms of the tariff, there's a bigger philosophical point here, which is that tariffs help rebalance the economy away. The people who lose out are kind of Wall Street and finance. The people who gain are workers. And so it's rebalancing the economy towards workers.
And that's what President Trump has said he's trying to do, to bring the wealth back to America. He's laid it out there that this is the goal, but it is creating a lot of confusion and creating confusion around the globe in multiple industries. You could aluminum, milk, wood, like it just goes on and on where the confusion is. But there maybe we'll get some clarity on April 2nd when the reciprocal tariff effort is supposed to take shape on that day. He keeps pointing to that date. So maybe by then we'll have a little bit of more of a shakeout and allow all of these industries to plan a little bit.
I think it's also good that, he's being very direct and transparent and saying, this is a big change and there's going to be a period of adjustment. We'll have to see. All right, let's now turn to the war on crypto. The president is also looking to create a national stockpile of digital assets, and he's embracing the unconventional currency by hosting on Friday the first ever crypto summit. Now, while many Americans are still wary of investing in digital assets, crypto czar David Sachs, he says it's time to embrace it.
Bitcoin has proven over time to be a very good investment. It's proven to be very secure. Bitcoin has now been around for over 15 years. The price has gone up from basically zero to roughly $90,000 per coin. And we think this stuff is scarce. It's like digital gold, and we want to keep it in a digital Fort Knox. Now, what we're talking about is Bitcoin that's already on the federal balance sheet. So the federal government, as a result of civil and criminal seizures and forfeitures, had accumulated roughly 400,000 Bitcoin over the past decade.
All right, Taylor, well, we did a bit of a straw poll here, and we've appointed you our crypto czar.
Let's do it.
Tell us what's going on here.
Well, look, we both know we're born and raised in California, grew up in neighborhoods with David Sachs. He's one of the smartest people in the room. I would never bet against him or Elon Musk, I might add. But David Sachs is a very good point. There is a Bitcoin reserve, which is, again, without having that long-term strategy, David Sachs says that we've lost about 17 trillion, could it be? Because we sold Bitcoin willy-nilly without having a long-term planning strategy of you hold on to this and then you sell it later. It's like buy and hold in economics. That's very different from a digital asset stockpile, which he said would be everything X Bitcoin. Think Ethereum, think Solana, Cardano, right? All of those other sort of random cryptocurrencies that aren't really mainstream.
Joe's nodding along like you have the first idea what's going on.
That one.
Yeah, those are the first 3 times I've ever heard those words in my life.
And that's more of like you could buy and sell, and that's more of a nimble asset, whereas he's thinking about Bitcoin as this sort of long-term strategy play. So I actually like that there is a separation between those two, because I think Bitcoin is one that people know of and they can sort of wrap their heads around.
I'm more like a dog who's trying to understand what the owner's saying. Like, what? Trust me, a lot of people watching right now still don't have any idea what Bitcoin is and why it's valuable. So can you explain that? I'm sorry to take your segment.
I have a good
I just
idea
wanna know.
on Ethereum. This is how it was explained to me. Think of when you go and you sell your house and you have a record of who owns the title on that house.
Right.
Eventually, we can get to a place where if it's on the Ethereum blockchain, I'll have a seamless record of every title holder on that house. Or if I'm GE and I'm selling in aerospace and I want to track in the supply chain how the engine got from A to B to C to D. If you do it on the Ethereum blockchain, I'll have a seamless accounting transaction of all the supply chain transactions. So you don't need someone like a title insurance guy to show up at your closing to verify that you own the title.
So it's worth something then.
Does that make sense?
Is it worth something then?
That's what I hear. Again, though, David Sachs is smarter
Okay, I'm
than
just
I
trying to
am.
understand.
Next, okay, we're going to do a little exam, and next up, you're going to tell us what you explain what the blockchain is. Molly,
Yeah, done.
Well, no, I was just going to say the way this is being sold by the executive order is that it's to resolve the current disjointed handling of cryptocurrencies, kind of to pull things together, get it organized. That right now there's no clear policy that exists for managing the assets, so get it organized.
Well, look, I just got to wrap it up by saying it is very encouraging that we have literally the best people in the world working on this for the president.
I agree.
So that